All right, so in our last session, we were looking up at the pipe rack, that huge multi-level steel highway carrying the very lifeblood of a plant. We established that for most of your process lines, the rack is the go-to. It's the default location. But what about that massive network that's running right beneath our feet?
Exactly. A plant isn't just the steel you see up in the sky. There's this huge, often completely invisible world of piping, literally running right under your boots as you walk through the facility. So as a designer, this is the fundamental question you're constantly facing. Do I route this line up in the rack, or do I bury it? Now let's be very clear. This has nothing to do with aesthetics or making things look tidy. This is a hardcore engineering decision driven entirely by physics, safety, and of course, long-term maintenance costs. So here's what we're going to walk through. We'll start with why rack routing is the default choice. Then we'll dig into the very specific reasons why you'd go underground. After that, we'll talk about the hidden and often nasty problems with buried pipes. We'll look at the decision framework an EPC contractor uses, and then we'll wrap it all up with a clear summary. Okay, let's jump right in. We'll start at the top with our default, rack routing. And if there's one guiding philosophy in the process industry that you need to understand, it's this: visible is safe. If you can see it, you can manage it.
I mean, think about it. When a pipe is up in a rack, it's out in the open. If a flange starts to leak, an operator spots that drip immediately. If insulation gets wet, you can see the damage. This gives us three huge advantages. First, inspection. You can walk right up and measure wall thickness without ever having to dig a hole. Second, flexibility. These pipes have room to move, to breathe, to expand and contract with temperature changes. And third, modification. Need to add a branch connection? That's a routine operation, not some massive excavation project.
And because of all that, here's the really crucial point. About 95% of your hazardous process fluids, I'm talking hydrocarbons, acids, high-pressure steam, they're always going to be routed in the rack. We want them where we can see them and where we can control them, period.
So, if the rack is the default, why on earth do we bury anything at all? Well, going underground isn't a random choice. It's reserved for very specific systems where either physics or safety makes putting it in the rack completely unsuitable.
And it really boils down to three main categories. First, you have your gravity systems, like sewers and drains. They have to slope continuously downhill, and you just run out of elevation in a pipe rack. Second, you've got firewater rings. This one's a pure safety mandate. And third, large-bore cooling water lines. The sheer structural weight of these massive pipes makes supporting them up in a rack astronomically expensive.
Let's focus on that firewater main for a minute because it's so important. Imagine a catastrophic fire. The steel structure of a pipe rack can warp and collapse in just a few minutes. Now, if your firewater supply is on that rack, you've just lost your ability to fight the fire. It's gone. By burying the main, we're basically using the earth itself as a natural heat shield, protecting that critical water supply no matter what happens above.
Now, while going underground solves those specific problems, it introduces a formidable new enemy: corrosion. So let's take a look at the hidden problems that come along with burying pipes.
You have to remember, soil is a very aggressive environment. It's got moisture, it's got salts, bacteria, all sorts of things that love to attack steel. A steel pipe buried directly in the ground is going to rot away significantly faster than one sitting in the air. To combat this, you need expensive protection, like heavy-duty coatings and sometimes even active cathodic protection systems.
Let's just put it side by side. Above ground, in the rack, your corrosion risk is low. You can see it and manage it with a coat of paint. Leaks, they're spotted immediately. A repair is a standard job. Now, underground, the corrosion risk is high. A leak can go totally undetected for months, maybe years, leading to massive soil contamination. And that simple repair, it just became a major construction project requiring excavation, shoring, and a stack of permits.
It all comes down to that classic problem, doesn't it? Out of sight, out of mind. A small, weeping leak in a buried diesel line might go unnoticed for months, just slowly saturating the soil, creating a massive environmental liability that's incredibly expensive to clean up.
So in a real-world EPC project, how do you make the final call? Well, it's not a single thing. It comes down to a very careful balancing act between cost, safety, and accessibility.
This table does a great job of showing the trade-offs. Let's look at cost. The rack is cheaper for your smaller pipes, but once you get into massive lines, say over 48 inches in diameter, burying them actually becomes cheaper. For safety, we keep lethal gas above ground so it can disperse safely, but we bury firewater for that critical heat protection.
and even climate plays a part. In cold regions, you can use the Earth's natural frost line for insulation, which avoids the cost of electrical heat tracing.
All of this has led to what is basically a modern industry standard, the no-bury rule. Most clients today have a strict policy against burying any process piping that contains hydrocarbons or chemicals. The environmental risk of an undetected leak is simply too high to justify it anymore.
Okay, let's wrap this up and summarize the design philosophy. We'll bring all these points together with the key technical takeaways you should remember.
First, rack routing is the standard. It gives you visibility, it's easy to inspect, and it's easy to modify. Second, you only go underground when you're forced to, for gravity drains, firewater, and those really large bore cooling water lines. Third, the biggest penalty for burying steel is always corrosion. And finally, the decision is always a trade-off. You bury a pipe only when gravity, safety, or structural weight makes the rack impossible. And if it carries hydrocarbons, the answer is simple. Keep it in the air.
So, we've talked about where to put the pipe, high up in the wreck or deep in the ground. But no matter where it's located, that pipe is going to change shape. It's going to grow when it gets hot and shrink when it gets cold. So how do we handle that? Well, in the next explainer, we're going to start exploring stress-aware routing and see how thermal expansion affects every single one of our layout decisions.